Welcome to the Logistics Point interviews. We are joined by Graham Smith, who is the Strategic Account Director at Gophr. And we're going to talk about pharmacies, delivering for customers in pharmacies. Graham, thank you very much for joining me.
You're welcome. Thanks for your time.
To start with, what do you think are the problems when it comes to serving customers from pharmacies? Whether this is the brick and mortar, but also what we're going to talk about more in detail is delivering from pharmacies.
It was very interesting to me how unique pharmacy is as an industry, certainly when it comes to delivery. They provide unique solutions in almost every case, whether it's their own driver or an outsourced driver or taxis or even in-house staff. It's a real plethora of options, but I still to this day think that there's much room for improvement and advancements on how they offer it and why they offer it, and the value that they can add by bringing logistics partners in to take a look at it. But again, therein lies a challenge. If there are fewer pharmacies, but the customer base is ever increasing, then the way that pharmacies deliver, how they deliver, what they spend, what their methods are, becomes even more important.
What are the benefits of bringing someone like Gophr, for example?
Yeah, so ultimately, Nick, it's a B2C offering, as we class it, but it's very much home delivery and care home delivery. So delivering quite often repeat prescriptions and repeat medicines to people at home or in care homes across the community all over the UK. And if you think of it as a pharmacy is the pickup point, and all of those customers are the delivery points, essentially. And that's the framework that we're dealing with. And most pharmacies, it is a kind of same-day service. So it's pick up and deliver the same day. And therefore, same-day courier companies like Gophr and others can offer value. They can add value. They already have significant driver networks, as we do here at Gophr, who are in the communities, in the areas, and available for work, and are therefore very easy to plug into pharmacies when they have a need for support. And those reasons for working with a partner, it can be as simple as their own driver, which they often have, is off sick, or maybe they're on holiday, so they don't have a driver for that day or that week. So they call a partner to come in and essentially plug the gap for a period of time. It's quite rudimentary. It's often on a time basis, and here's the work, and go and deliver it and come back at the end of the day, and hopefully everything was okay. So there's not a huge amount of science to it. If we can dive deeper into your schedules, into your portfolio, then we can help at a much higher level than that. And I was recently working with a client within the last month or so who their store were offering delivery every single day. Not a huge amount of volume. There were probably about 4 hours work every day, so 20 hours across the week. And it seemed a little bit crazy that they were offering delivery every day when there was a modest volume. And we turned a 20-hour, 5-day-a-week route into a 3 times 6 hour route. And we brought the hours down. We brought the price down. We boosted efficiencies for the driver. There was more density. So the cost came down as well. And customers were quick to adapt to that service if they know up front that that's what you're offering.
How much data do you actually need to provide a good customer service, and also including what you're delivering as every individual prescription? Do you need to know that?
We don't need to know that, Nick, and quite often, because each pharmacy, even within the same business, they often work differently. Our service has to be quite vanilla. It has to be quite open. You know, we are here. Here's your driver. He's here for this period of time. Please direct them and work with them as necessary as you need them. And often the data isn't available, isn't forthcoming, certainly electronically. But in instances where data is available, and we are working hopefully soon with a client where they are going to share their data, and that data will come onto our system, we can then start to really get smart with where we should be going. How long should this take? How much should it cost? How many times are we going to the same address? So at the minute, the lack of data is a challenge, I think, for the pharmacies more so. But I think as they can share that data with us and we can use that in the field, I think we will give them much more advancements and efficiencies than we already do.
And what is the importance of customer choice when it comes to other delivery, let's say parcel delivery? Now, customers can say, I don't want this item on Monday because I'm not at home or anything like that. But for pharmaceutical products, you want this on time. Is it important, or customer choice, as much as is important for other parts of the delivery process?
Most pharmacy deliveries are free to the customer, and they are mostly provided by the pharmacy in order to attract, attain, retain the customer through the life cycle, right? And to retain their families and their friends in this kind of network that they create. But often it's for free. So therefore the pharmacies, and they are starting to ask themselves, look guys, we're not getting any funding for this element at all, whether it's through support or through the customer. But yet we continue to offer delivery at extreme cost, often building assets with their own vans and their own drivers, who are often idle, who are often not managed well enough, and who of course need time off, and vehicles have issues, right? So there's a huge amount of cost. There's not a huge amount of delivery revenue. So therefore, I think it's important that pharmacies understand that however they deliver, that they're doing it the most cost efficient way. And therefore the customer, they do have a choice, of course, and I'm sure they would like to have it exactly when they want it. But they must also realize that as they're not paying for this service, there needs to be a structure in place at each pharmacy, just like the one I mentioned, that says instead of having it every day and being everything to everyone, our delivery days will be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Would you like one of those? And build it in that way. So it is time, I think, for pharmacies to start to take the front foot in the services that they offer.
And the other thing when it comes to home delivery is also the returns. Do you deal with any of this? I would assume that when it comes also to pharmaceutical, it's a bit more complicated.
It is more complicated, yeah, absolutely, and rightly so. We, as a business at Gophr, we provide a pretty thorough doorstep check. So just as you'd expect if you were collecting your medicine in a pharmacy, when our driver is at the doorstep, they are advised to check. They are advised to ask the recipient for their name and address, so that before the parcels are handed over, we can make sure we've got the right person at the right location, just as you'd get in a pharmacy. Now, about 8-9 times out of 10, that happens. It's securely delivered, no problem. That's it. But yes, 1 or 2 occasions from every 10, maybe that person isn't home, maybe the right person isn't available, or maybe that process isn't securely delivered. So the items must come back to the store. There is an element of returns, and those are always returned back to the pharmacy the very same day. So essentially, when the pharmacy closes their doors for the night, they know exactly everything was delivered or everything was returned. But I can make a case of accountability, a chain of custody for every single item. But yeah, adding on to that, those that do fail need to be monitored. If you go to an address 1, 2, 3 times, there's a cost to that. And it's about showing that data where we say, guys, we've been here 3 times, they're never in, or they're always refusing things. This is costing you money. It's time to investigate that at a granular level. And I think at the moment, when you have your own driver and things are very comfortable and things are often a little too familiar, it's easy to overlook those costs, and it's easy to overlook those issues, whereas we bring them to the fore.
Graham, thank you very much for your time. And for everyone watching, you can learn also a bit more in the description below. Thank you very much.